Hi, this is Usha. Welcome to Rathod Science classes. Today in this lecture, we are going to see current affairs of 3rd October 2021. In this lecture, we are going to discuss 8 topics which are very much relevant to UPSC. So, this Sunday's newspaper is important to cover environment and as well as science and technology related current affairs. So, don't skip this Sunday's newspaper. So now let us try to see the list of the topics we are going to discuss in this lecture. So first topic is regarding our polity. It is about recommendations of names of judges of High Court. So this article mainly says that Collegium recommended 106 names to be appointed as High Court judges, but out of this 106 members or 106 names, this 7 were selected or cleared so far. So this is a thing which mainly said by our CJI. So how this article is important? So if you open your Lakshmikant, especially in this judiciary, you will be having 4 important things like first judge case, second judge case, third judge case and fourth judge case. So in these cases you need to know about what is this NJAC Act and what is this collegium. So that will be very important from your means point of view. You have to remember that. And here you need to know about what is this collegium system and what are the important functions of this collegium. And next topic is about government notifies new rules to clear retro tax mess. So actually regarding this topic we studied detailedly in month of August. So what happened? So here government came up with the application or to come up with retrospective tax from 2012 onwards. So because of this, some giant technology companies there are 2 important companies like Vodafone and another company which mainly filed a case in Supreme Court. And finally what happened, Supreme Court gave judgment which is mainly favored to those companies. So regarding this, in 2012 government came up with this act which will be allows for application of this retrospective taxes. So recently government came up with some changes regarding to decrease or to remove this retrospective taxes which came up with the amendment in 2012. So regarding that, again government notifies some important rules now. So this is some background. Here why it is important. So this topic will be important from your tax system in India, and even here we are going to talk about some amendments. So it is important from our polity and governance point as well. And next topic is about Vikrant to sail out for phase 2 trials. So every year from science and technology, from defense, you will be getting questions regarding if any new aircraft carrier or new helicopter or new any fighter jet or any space missions is in use. You will be getting questions obviously in your prelims. So here you need to know some facts regarding this. What is this INS Vikrant? So this will be important from your science and technology, and this will be important especially from your prelims, not from mains. And next topic is about GI tag for Edayur chili and Kotatur mango. So every year at least 10 to 12 items will be present in news regarding they are getting geographical indication tag. So you will be getting question like consider the following things. So you will be getting question like consider the following things, and they will give you like Kotinur mango from which state, okay, Edayur chili from which state. So in this way you will be asked to choose the correct pair. So in this way you can expect question here. And if I am not wrong, from 2017 there was one question in this format that appeared regarding this GI tags. So whenever GI tags is in use, you have to remember that for sure. And next topic is about how beneficial is the new pill to patient with COVID-19. So this article mainly talking about new antiviral drug. So whenever new drug which is seen in use or new vaccine, so you have to remember that. So there are 95% of chances to get a question regarding that in your prelims. And this will be important from your science and technology point of view. And next topic it is about IAO HANEL. It is talking about astronomical observatory. So this is a study which mainly done in 8 astronomical observatories, and finally they came up with the key points, and they said so this observatory which is located in HANEL, it is one of the good observatory. This will be important from our science and technology point of view. And next one, it is about a tiny planet. A tiny plant. A tiny plant is one microalgae species, so it is having an ability mainly to digest low density plastic sheets. Already we know that now you are facing problem of plastic pollution. So mainly to address this plastic pollution, we need to go for recycling. But how much amount of waste which is created and how much amount is regenerated, or we can say like how much amount of this plastic it is recycled, it is very low. So because of this, when we are going for this type of things, that will be very helpful to fight against this plastic pollution. So this will be important from science and technology point of view, which comes in the GS paper 3. And next topic is about coral reefs. So either in geography or even in your environment and ecology, you will be having this coral reef, which is one important topic. So it will be important from your environment and ecology point of view. So now let us try to discuss each and every topic in a very great detail. Now let us try to see first topic. And one more thing is, if you want a PDF of this class, so PDF, you can get this PDF in our Telegram channel. So link of this Telegram channel is given in description box. So please join that channel to get PDF daily. So first article we are going to discuss, it is 7 out of 106 names suggested as High Court judges cleared so far. So this is the thing which mainly said by our Chief Justice of India. So Chief Justice of India said that Collegium recommended about 106 High Court judges name. Out of this, only 7 names are cleared so far. So it is one cause of concern. Why? Because there is already increase in pendency of cases we can see, and there is increase in the vacancies. So whenever we fill these vacancies, then only there is efficient strength of courts will be maintained, such that we can go for decreasing or we can take up the cases, right? So whenever there is no proper strength of the courts, whenever we are not properly maintaining this strength of the courts, then how can we ensure there will be decreasing of pendency of cases, right? So mainly to decrease or mainly to counter this problem of this increasing the pendency of cases, we need to fill these vacancies. So this is one cause of concern now. Now let us try to see context. If you see context, it mainly says that Chief Justice of India, that is CJINV Ramana, said government had so far cleared just 7 names out of 106 names which were recommended as High Court judges by Supreme Court Collegium. So these names, they are recommended since May. So since May, Collegium system recommended 106 names. Out of this 106, only 7 names have cleared so far. So this is one cause of concern by our CJI. If you see further more details, it mainly says that 9 new Chief Justice of various High Courts, they are suggested by Collegium, but out of this 9, only 1 cleared. So 106 members are of High Court judges, out of the 7 cleared, and 9 names were recommended as Chief Justices of High Court. Out of this, only 1 cleared. Since May, here Supreme Court Collegium so far recommended appointment of 106 judges and 9 Chief Justices of various High Courts. But out of this, government cleared only 7 out of 106 names as High Court judges and 1 out of 9 Chief Justices of High Courts, which are recommended by the Supreme Court Collegium. So here our CJI mainly focusing that there is one issue which they are facing in judiciary is there is increasing of pendency of cases in high courts. So mainly to address that problem, we need to go for proper strength. We need to maintain strength of Supreme High Courts. But here whenever they are recommending, but only government clearing only less number of names. So this is one cause of concern. So he already said that. So whenever we want to access to justice, we need to go for strengthening of number of we need to go for maintaining of strength of this judges, and even it will be very much helpful for even strengthening of our democracy. So as you all know that justice delayed is justice denied. So to maintain that, or to mainly ensure each and every person who are getting justice, means we need to maintain the number of judges in the courts. So if you see some more concerns which are mainly said in this article, First one here is, apart from pendency, vacancies and piling up of thousands of cases, the pandemic has exposed some deep-rooted problems in the society. So due to this COVID-19 imposed lockdown, so there is also increase in the number of crimes. Yesterday we studied about NCRB report, right? So there is increasing of violence against women, especially domestic violence and even sexual abuse. So because of all these things now, this COVID-19 pandemic that led to further increase in the number of cases. So this is one cause of concern. And next one is, even whenever there is a lack of health care, eviction from home, uncertainty about one's next meal, so all these overflow from absence of justice. So because of absence of justice, so we are saying there is a lack of proper health care and eviction from homes. Women are mainly sent out of their homes, and even uncertainty about one's next meal. So these are some important problems that we are facing. So one important root cause here is because of absence of justice. So this is a thing which mainly said by our CJI sir. And now let us try to see some facts regarding what is this collegium system. So if you are talking about this collegium system, so this is a system, it is very much responsible for appointments or elevation of judges. Elevation means from High Court to Supreme Court. So whenever the judges of this High Court will be promoted as judges of Supreme Court, then that is called as elevation. Or judges of High Court will be elevated or promoted to Chief Justice of High Court, that is called as elevation of judges. And also lawyers of Supreme Court will be elevated as Supreme Court judges, and even transfer of judges from one High Court to another High Court, or High Court and as well as Apex Court. So these all things will be divided by this collegium system. So collegium system recommendations, they are binding on central government if once collegium again sends the same name to the government for the second time. So these are some important things that you need to remember. Now let us move on to next topic. Title says government notifies new rules to clear retro tax mess. So it is talking about retrospective tax. So to understand this retrospective tax, we need to understand background, and we need to go back in year 2007. So if you say 2007, Vodafone buys Hutchinson, that is Hutch company, right? So Vodafone mainly buys Hutch company controlling stake in Hutchinson ESA, and it buy for $10.9 billion. And later on in the same year, IT department serves notice to Vodafone for failing to deduct tax at source. And later on in June 12, so Supreme Court backs Vodafone and ruling which is very much favored to Vodafone. So because of this, in 2012, our government came up with one important law. So this law mainly introduces or allows the government to apply retrospective tax. So later on in 2020 September, Vodafone get a favorable ruling from even at PCA, Permanent Court of Arbitration. So this is some background. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail, and let us try to understand what is this actually. So if you see some great firms, technological firms like Cain and as well as Vodafone, so they are mainly disputing retrospective tax demands in India will not only have to withdraw all legal proceedings, and also they are saying that they need to waive all rights to claim cost or attach Indian assets, but also indemnity the government on cost and liabilities from any action pursued by other interested parties in future. So actually in August, government came up with one decision like mainly to remove this retrospective tax. So what happened now here, firms like Cain and as well as Vodafone, they are mainly having some dispute with retrospective tax demands in India. And they said that they will not only have to withdraw all legal proceedings, but they need to waive all the right to claim cost and as well as attach Indian assets. So this is some dispute which is happening between this Cain and Vodafone and as well as Indian government regarding this retrospective tax. So here if you see here, this article mainly says that so recently government came up with one important decision like to remove this retrospective tax. So mainly to remove that retrospective tax, government need to come up with some new rules. So our union government, they came up with some new rules, and these new rules notified on October 1st under Income Tax Act. So this will mainly specify the process to be followed by affected taxpayers to settle their long brewing disputes. For example, Vodafone and as well as Crane, they are having disputes with Indian government regarding this retrospective tax. But in August 2021, government said that they are going to remove this retrospective tax regarding disputes. They want to come up with resolving of disputes. But what is the process that need to be followed? They didn't come up in a great detail, or the details of that procedure is not come up in August. So now on October 1st, so government came up with some new rules, and these new rules are notified regarding, so what is the process that need to be followed to resolve these disputes. So under this Income Tax 31st Amendment Rules 2021 introduced a new portion permitting to indirect transfer prior to May 28, 2012 of assets situated in India. So it came up with one provision that there is an indirect transfer prior to May 28, 2012 of assets in India. And these new rules also lay out conditions and even formats for undertaking to be submitted by all interested parties. So what are the things they are asking? They need to submit all those things, these things that will be helpful for settling of the disputes. So if you see background, retrospective law in India passed in year 2012. So because in 2012 what happened, Supreme Court gave a verdict, and this verdict which is mainly favor of this Vodafone. So because of this, after this verdict, government came up with this retrospective tax law in 2012, and also it was introduced an amendment to Finance Act. Okay, so in this act, it mainly came up with amendment to this Finance Act. So this act mainly enabled the tax department to impose retrospective capital gain tax for deals. And next one is why this amendment. So this amendment mainly aimed at penalizing Vodafone and many other companies got caught in crossfire and have created a host of problems for India over the years. So capital gains tax means nothing but, so for example, I am buying so and so piece of land. For example, I took this land for 1 lakh rupees. So after 5 years, I am selling this same land, for example, 5 lakhs rupees. So I buy it at 1 lakh rupee, and after 5 years, if I sell this same land, I will be getting 5 lakhs rupees. So what happened? There is a gain of 4 lakhs rupees. So on this 4 lakhs rupees, what's the gain for me? So I need to pay tax to government, that is called as capital gain tax. Okay. So what happened? Recently, Government of India introduced Taxation Law Amendment Bill 2021 in Lok Sabha. So this amendment or this bill mainly focusing to withdraw tax demands. Okay, tax demands by using this 2012 retrospective legislation tax. So what are the proposed changes in this bill? So these changes will be very important from your mains, and I am saying for 100% you will be getting question regarding this retrospective tax in your 2021 mains. So first, if you see the proposed changes, the first important thing here is amendments to this Income Tax Act and Finance Act 2012 that will effectively state that no tax demand shall be raised for any indirect transfer of Indian assets if transaction was undertaken before 2012. So before 2012, whenever there is indirect transfer of ownership or transfer of Indian assets is happening, so in that way here there is no tax demand that will be given, that will be taken, or that will be laid by government. And next one is tax raised for indirect transfer of Indian asset before May 2012, that will be nullified on fulfillment of specified conditions. So if there is any transfer which has happened in 2012 before May 2012, so on that thing, so how much amount of money which is paid as a tax, that will be refunded. So it also proposed to refund the amount which is paid by companies facing trial in these cases without interest. So without interest, how much amount they paid, that will be returned. And if you're talking about what is this retrospective taxation means, for example, so this retrospective taxation which is normally used by many countries, mainly this retrospective taxation will be a law to pass a rule on taxing certain products, items or services, and also it deals and charge companies from the time behind the date on which the law passed. Okay, so for example, law passed in 2012, but this law also allows to impose tax even before 2012. So because of this, it is called as retrospective taxation. So why we need this retrospective taxation? So this retrospective taxation is very useful for the countries, mainly to control any loopholes are present. Okay, mainly to take advantage of any loopholes. And retrospective taxation which mainly hurt companies that had knowingly or unknowingly interpreted the tax rules differently. So apart from India, this retrospective tax which also seen in other countries, for example USA, UK, Netherlands, Canada, Belgium, Australia and Italy, etc. So in these countries also we have this retrospective taxation. So this is about this topic. And now let us move on to next topic. Title says Vikrant to sail out for phase 2 trials. So here we need to focus on what is this Vikrant and what is the significance. So these two topics are very important. And now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. First let us try to see context. So maiden sea trails of this indigenous aircraft carrier. So Vikrant, it is indigenous aircraft carrier. So if you see this image, so this is aircraft carrier, this is Vikrant, and here we can carry aircrafts. So it is one of indigenous aircraft carrier. So this Vikrant had done maiden sea trails, and in this sea trail they progressed very well. And what happened next, the second phase of trials are going to begin in October end, and later on third phase is planned in December, and later on it will be inducted into our Indian Navy. So this is about context. And if you see some details, it mainly says that Vikrant is expected to be delivered to Indian Navy in April, and it is likely to be commissioned by August 2022. So this is one important fact. And why this August 2022? Because so this will be very much helpful, mainly to coincide our 75 years of our independence as well. So now let us try to see some important facts. So Vikrant, which is mainly designed by Navy's Directorate of Naval Design, and this INS Vikrant mainly built by this Cochin shipyard. So this Cochin shipyard is very important, and you should not confuse here. So it is mainly built by this Cochin shipyard, but not Visakhapatnam or so and so. It is mainly built in this Cochin shipyard, and which has more than 76% of indigenous content. So it is one of the important and appreciable thing. And there are about 14 decks, including 5 in superstructure, and there are over 2,300 compartments. They are designed for a crew of around 1700 people with a separate accommodation for women officers. So if you see some specialities of this Vikrant, so there are about 14 decks, and there are 5 superstructure, and there are about 2,300 compartments, and here these compartments that will have capability to carry about 1700 people, and there is also separate accommodation for women officers as well. So this is about some specialities. And now let us try to see what is the significance. So if you see significance, it mainly says that the combat capability and reach and versatility of aircraft carrier will add formidable capabilities in the defense in the country, and in this way it will be also very much helpful to secure India's interest in maritime domain. So here this INS Vikrant will be very much helpful for combat capability and even reach and even versatility of the aircraft carrier. And if you see some more important thing that you need to remember here is, so it will also offer incomparable military instruments, and it will be very much helpful to it is also very much capable to project air power long distances, and even including air interdiction and anti-surface warfare. So it will be also helpful for anti-submarine warfare, even it will be helpful for early warning as well. So this is about significance of this Vikrant. And now let us try to see next topic. Title says GI tag for Idayur chili and Kottittur mango. So it is talking about geographical indication tag. So here you need to remember about why this so and so chili and this so and so mango got GI tag, what are the specialities and from which state they are from. So this is enough from UPSC point of view, and this topic is important especially from your prelims. If you see context, it mainly says that Edayur chili and Kottittur mango, they are latest agriculture produce from Kerala to receive GI status. So Edayur chili and Kottittur mango, they got a GI tags and they are from Kerala. So you have to remember this. And if you see some facts, it mainly says that, so this chili, it is a local cultivar, okay, so it is mainly cultivated locally of Edayur, Atwanand, Marakara, so and so areas. Okay, and it is mainly cultivated in the areas for at least 150 years. So from 1.5 century onwards, they are mainly cultivated in this area. And this chili, it is unique because it is having very low pungency. So because of this thing, it got its GI tag. And the distinctiveness can be attributed to its genetic makeup and the specific environmental and even social conditions, soil conditions of this area and traditional methods of cultivation. So it is having some genetic makeup, and as well as it is very much suitable for that environment and even soil conditions of that specific area, and even the people, they are going for traditional method of cultivation. So because of all these things, it got this GI tag now. And now let's try to see about this Kottittur mango. So this mango, it is very much popular and it is a very much tasty traditional mango cultivar of this Kottittur. So if you're talking about other names of this mango, it is also called with other names like Nambia manga, Kannapuram manga, Kunjimangalam manga, Vadakumbhagam manga. So these are other names of this mango. So this mango, it is very much famous for orange yellow color in addition to its excellent taste and as well as flavor. So because of this, it got this GI tag. And now let's talk about what is a geographical indication, that is GI, and what are the benefits. So this will be important from your mains. So if you're talking about this geographical indication, it is nothing but it is an insignia of products which is having some unique geographical origin and even evolution over centuries. So if you say this chili, which is mainly growing for 1.5 century, right? So if there is evolution over centuries which is regarded to have the special quality, then they will get this GI tag. So this GI, that is geographical indication, which is a mark of authenticity and even which mainly ensures that registered authorized users, or at least those who are residing inside this geographical territory, they are allowed to use popular product names. And even this GI tag in India mainly governed by who? So this will be important prelims fact. So this GI tag in India mainly governed by Geographical Indications of Goods Registration and Protection Act of 1999, and mainly issued by Geographical Indications Registry, Chennai. So now let us try to see what are the benefits. So first one is it provides legal protection to Indian geographical indications. So in this way, it mainly prevents unauthorized use of registered GIs by other, and it also promotes economic prosperity of products of goods, and even it will be very much helpful for getting some recognition of that products. So in this way, it will also boost our exports. So this is about this topic. And now let us move on to next topic. Title says, how beneficial is the new pill to patients with COVID-19? So this article mainly talking about one new antiviral drug, that is molnupiravir. Okay, molnupiravir. So it is a one important antiviral drug which mainly used for this COVID-19, and it is in clinical trials now. So now let us try to see this topic. So one important pharmaceutical major, Merck and Ridgeback Biotherapeutics, announced in a press release that they came up with the phase 3 clinical trials of this new antiviral drug, that is molnupiravir. So after this phase 3 studies, they found that this drug mainly halved the chances of hospitalization in this COVID-19 patients who are suffering with mild and as well as moderate disease. So in patients who are suffering with this COVID-19 in mild and moderate disease, so this new antiviral drug which mainly lessen or reduce 50% of hospitalizations. So this is context, and now let us try to see important details. So in placebo trials, which mainly involve the testing of drug on thousands of people, admit some or get the drug and some people they will get placebo. Placebo nothing but it do not contain any active medicament. So they will be also appear like same tablet, but in the tablet we are having active principle or active ingredient which is responsible for therapeutic effect. But here in the placebo everything will be there like binders, other adhesives, everything will be there, but it will not contain any active ingredient or API, active pharmaceutical ingredient, it is not present. So in this placebo trial, so we will be selecting the group of people, and half people will be given by placebo and half people will be given by the drug. Placebo means just they will be giving a tablet but they do not have some medicament. Okay, so in this study they found that 53 patients either hospitalized or had died. So about 14% of people they died. But after taking this this drug in this group, only 7.3% they were hospitalized or died. So that means there is a half people they are mainly having reduction in the risk of hospitalization and as well as mortality. So several noted clinicians they also said that they are showing some promisable results, particularly who are taking this molnupiravir as a pill. So this is about this topic, and now let's try to see how this molnupiravir works. So this company name here is EIGG2801. Here E mainly indicates Emory University. So here this antiviral drug which mainly inhibits the process, so which is very much responsible for replication of virus. So this process will be inhibited by this molnupiravir. And in the case of this molnupiravir, so it is mainly tested in the culture cells. So they mainly found that so it is mainly leading some changes or altering some critical enzymes. So it is having some change in some critical enzymes. Those are very much necessary for the virus to begin replicate in the body host cells. So which is the enzymes which are very much important for replication of this virus that mainly inhibited by this molnupiravir. So this is about this topic. And now let us try to see next topic. Title says IAO, Indian Astronomical Observatory. So here Indian Astronomical Observatory which is located in this Hanel. Hanel is located near Leh in Ladakh. You have to remember this thing. So here title says that Indian Astronomical Observatory located in Hanel, which is a promising astronomical observatory. So this article is important from our science and technology point of view. So now let us try to see this topic in a very great detail. So if you see context, mainly says that Indian Astronomical Observatory IAO. So this astronomical observatory which is located in this Hanel. This Hanel it is located in Leh, which is in our Ladakh. So it is one of the globally promising observatory sites. So actually this study mainly conducted by comparing 8 astronomical observatories, and out of this study says that this Indian Astronomical Observatory which is located in Leh, it is one of the promising site. So if you see details, it mainly says that so because we are having some advantages like more clear nights and there is minimum light pollution and background aerosol concentration is less and extremely dry atmospheric condition. So and this area is also uninterrupted monsoon we can see. So because of all these things, this Indian Astronomical Observatory which is one of the promising site. So if you're talking about 8 observatories, so here researchers mainly analyzed 8 data sets. Okay, like for example Indian Observatory in Hanel and Merak in Ladakh and Devastal Nainital in India and Ali Observatory in Tibet Autonomous Region in China and South African Large Telescope in South Africa, University of Tokyo Atacama Observatory and Parnell in Chile and National Astronomical Observatory in Mexico. So you have to remember these observatories and where they are located. That is very important from your prelims. And what is this research mainly led by Dr. Shanti Kumar Singh, of Indian Institute of Astrophysics. And finally, the highlights of this study mainly includes, so they found that Parnell in Chile to be the best sites in terms of clear skies. So in terms of clear skies, there is about 87% of clear skies that is seen in an year. And next one is Indian Astronomical Observatory in Hanel, which is located, it is around 80 kilometers, that is, and as well as Ali observatories. So they are very much similar to each other in terms of clear night skies. And they found that even this Devastal has slightly larger number of clear nights compared to other sites in subcontinent. So finally they said that night observations at this Indian Astronomical Observatory in Hanel, that is from 2 meters Himalayan Chandra telescope. So here we can have a possible clear skies throughout the year without any interruptions, and even there is no interruptions regarding this Indian monsoon as well. So because of this astronomical observatory, which is one of the promising site. So this is just of this topic. And now let us move on to next topic, a tiny plant that can digest low density plastic sheets. So this article mainly talking about this algae variety. So now let us try to talk about this topic, and this will be important from our science and technology. So if you see context, it mainly says that from murky waters of lake in Chennai, so researchers mainly isolated one algae. So this algae mainly breaks down low density polythene. So this is very important. This will be very helpful for tackling of this plastic pollution. If you see details, it mainly says that researchers from University of Madras and Presidency College, Chennai, they isolated one algae species. And this algae species which is showing some promising effect, and it is also helpful for biodegradation of plastic sheets. So this study mainly published in scientific reports, and it needs further research and development. So if you see data according to this CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, so in year 2011 to 2012, so plastic which is generated in India, it is about 5.6 million metric tons. So now you can imagine so how much plastic we are using in our daily life. For example, if you are drinking any milk, you will be getting milk from packets. If you are eating any biscuit packet or bread packet, so that is mainly packed in plastic. So even though if you are eating chocolate is also packed in plastic papers, right? So because of this, now we can imagine that how much amount of plastic we are generating day by day. So in year which report like 2011 to 2012, so plastic generated in a year which is about 5.6 million metric tons. But out of this, only 60% of plastic we are using, that is collected and recycled. And what about rest 40%? They will be end up in the oceans. So in Pacific Ocean, we are having a great garbage patch. And there is also pollution by this plastic microbeads, even microplastic. Even in the rivers like Ganga and as well as Yamuna, we are also having pollution which is mainly caused by this microplastic, right? So there are recent reports which shows that there is increasing of microplastic pollution in this river Ganga and as well as river Yamuna. So here, if you see the metros alone, they contribute some 21.2% of total waste. For example, Delhi, Chennai, Kolkata and Mumbai. And the usual means of disposal of plastic waste includes mainly incineration and as well as landfilling, recycling. But these methods, they are having number of challenges. And sometimes even though if you are going for incineration, they will be having some side effects. They are very much hazardous to our environment. So because of this, our researchers mainly looking out or checking out for this biodegradation methods which are very much environment safely. So in this way, this type of discovery is very important. So if you see some facts regarding that algae, so this present study which mainly says about the role which is played by this microalgae, name here is Orenema africanum borge. So this species of microalgae which is commonly found in Asia, Africa and as well as Europe. You have to remember this. And in Rangoon, Burma, it was noted to be an epiphyte. So epiphyte means they normally attaches on other trees. And next one is this microalgae mainly produce different kinds of extracellular polysaccharides, some enzymes, toxins such as cyanotoxins, and even it will release some hormones. So these will be made reacting with this polymer sheets, and that will lead to breaking down of this polythene into simple compounds or simple monomers. So it will be environment friendly. So this is about this topic, and I hope it is clear. Now let us try to see next topic. If you see this image, it is talking about these corals. So before saying this topic, I want to make a small announcement on this platform. If you want to clear UPSC 2022, we came up with one excellent, highly beneficial and as well as highly economical course, that is current affairs package along with mains answer writing practice. So how this course will be useful to clear this UPSC 2022? So one thing you need to remember here is, before entering into examination hall, you need to know at least 1.5 years current affairs, and this is right time to join this course to cover this 1.5 years current affairs. And here in this course we are mainly focusing on your mains answer writing practice. So why mains answer writing practice? So many students, they ignore this mains answer writing practice, even though if they clear prelims, they cannot clear mains without proper answer writing skills. So if you join this course, we are going to practice about 300 questions and more than 50 essays. So in this way, this course will give you enough practice to improve your answer writing skills. And next one is, if you join this course, we also conduct prelims test on every Sunday based on that week's current affairs. So in this way, it will be also helpful to understand the pattern of this prelims questions as well. So in this way, this course, which is designed as per demand of UPSC. So finally, I want to say one thing. Please don't take this course as a choice. Try to join this course as soon as possible and achieve your dream of clearing the UPSC. Details of this course is given in description box, so please visit that once. And if you want to talk to me directly, you can call to this number 8074765513. Okay. And one more thing here is, this course registrations are going to be end by first week of October. So if you want to join, please hurry up. And title says coral microbiome. Microbiome means nothing but bacteria, fungi, virus which are mainly living, that is called as microbiome. So now let us try to see what's the relationship between these corals and this microbiome. So context says that bacteria, fungi, viruses that comprises this microbiome of corals, they play an important role in ability of corals to resist global warming and avoid bleaching. So one important problem which is facing by these corals is coral bleaching. So to avoid this coral bleaching, so microbiome like bacteria, virus and algae, fungi are present, that will be very important, and they play an important role to prevent this. That will be helpful for avoiding of coral bleaching. So if you see details, it mainly says that according to the new study by Penn State researchers, so this study mainly found that bacteria, fungi, viruses that comprises this microbiome of corals, they help in a important role. Actually, they plays an important role in ability of coral to resist global warming, and even that will be helpful to avoid coral bleaching. So this study published in Nature Communications, and this study mainly found that three species of corals. First one is shallow water starlet coral, and next one is knobby brain coral and mountainous star coral. So in this corals, they mainly conduct this study, and they found that microbiome has an important role. So now let us try to understand what are these coral reefs. So coral reefs are nothing but the colonies of tiny living creatures, and these are found commonly in oceans, and they are underwater structures, and they are mainly formed of coral polyps, and they are mainly held together by calcium carbonate. And these coral reefs, they are mainly regarded as tropical rainforest because they will be occupying very less area, but they are home for 25% of marine species. And if you're talking about what are the factors which are affecting these coral reefs, first one is because of extreme climate conditions. Whenever there is increasing of temperature, that is leading to the oceanic acidification, and that led to bleaching of corals. And first one is overfishing. Overfishing is also one of the major concern because it is leading to ecological imbalances in this coral reef. And next one is coastal development. So whenever we are going for any coastal developmental projects, infrastructure, tourism, etc., that will having some effect on these coral reefs. And if you're talking about pollution, so toxic pollutant, whenever they are dumped directly into the oceans, that is leading to poisoning of these coral reefs. and this one is sedimentation, construction along the coast islands that lead to soil erosion, right? And also that will lead to increasing of sedimentations in the rivers. So because of this, the smoother corals, they are mainly depriving of light which they need because of this sedimentation. So these are some important factors which are affecting this coral reefs. So this topic is very important from your mains point of view. So I hope it is clear now. So by this we are concluding today. I hope you enjoyed this lecture. Please subscribe to my channel and don't forget to like, share and comment my videos. And don't forget to enroll to this current affairs package as registrations are going to be closed by the first week of October. And join the Telegram channel to get the PDF of this class. Thank you so much.